Okay, now let's just talk about Gazebo Sim from a plugin perspective. So if you see this diagram, majorly in Gazebo Sim, the main important part is this system plugin. And as I was talking about this entity component system, this is that the one that manages entity component system. This all are called system plugin. So this is the main heart of it that handles everything, and the rest other thing like GUI, rendering, every other thing just interact with this ECS system. They all interact with this ECS system. We'll understand bit of it how they interact, a little bit of it, but in the entire tutorial series what we are majorly going to focus on would be this systems plugin. We'll mostly be making systems plugin, and we'll be using this entity component manager a lot. And I mentioned all those things, but these are mostly like it is for communicating within the system or outside the system. For this Gazebo transport, it brings in the topics, it's the Gazebo topic format. Same way we have this ROS communication that we can directly use this Gazebo bridge or direct ROS. Okay, so the main heart is this only, this entity component manager, but these are more for bringing in informations, for communicating between two nodes, or bringing information from ROS. These are the methods, and we are going to talk about this entire system in very much detail. And rest other thing, as per now I haven't planned anything to just talk about this, but here I have written an important thing. But let's see in the future if I'm making videos on any of this, physics, rendering, transport, we'll see. But majorly the tutorials that we are going to talk about would be systems plugin. Okay, and I've written an important thing that this all are basically actually just reading and writing on the component. So component is an important part of this entity component system, which is being managed by entity component manager. But we'll talk about this in coming videos in much more details, so do not worry. Okay, now if we go a little bit down, so basically the system is sort of like this. So if you go on to the system, it's sort of in Gazebo Sim repository, you will see this system as one folder having all of this. Okay, so these are all the things that's there on the system. So these are all system plugins that we have written. We are also going to write some of this. Okay, and same goes with others, but others are a different repository because they can interact with this entity component manager. So you will see, for example, physics is a different repository entirely. So physics is entirely a different repository. Same goes with GUI. GUI is also a different repository that for GUI, and then same goes with rendering and other things, transport as well. So as I already told you, the physics has code to calculate the physics, and same goes with GUI. GUI goes for having the GUI using Qt, and then same goes for rendering. But the main thing is all interact with the system components. The main thing is all interact with the system components. So that's a very important thing that we need to know. Okay, so this all interact with the component, and the same thing you will find in the architecture diagram of Gazebo Sim plugin as well. So if you see this diagram, you will see this plugin of physics is what is it interacting with this ECS, entity component manager, that we just saw in above. So if we go up, this ECM, entity component manager, that I was talking about, all of this is actually dealing with it. And the other important thing is this we have server and this we have client. The same architecture that we always had in Gazebo Classic is the same thing, but the thing is now they are further subdivided, and the main thing, they are all interacting with this entity and the component part of it. So everything is interacting with the component, everything. And this will little bit get more clear when we discuss the entity component system in detail. But see, I hope this architecture diagram is also clear to you. If you need any further information around this, then you can check this out. You can check this out. This has further details on how the things works, and you can read out the thing. I just explain you from a plugin perspective so that you understand what are we basically working on and how we are going to work around it. Okay, so see you next time.